Hi everybody, welcome to the Local Connection with the Givlin Gals. Today we have Nicholas Svaikauskas from Calgary Custom Concepts joining us, talking to us about, can you design this? Thank goodness it's him, not me. Welcome to the Local Connection with the Givlin Gals, where we unravel the secrets of successful marketing with passion and purpose. I'm Jenn, your guide through the dynamic world of business strategies. Nick, thanks so very much for coming out today. We really appreciate all the insights you've given, and we appreciate you taking the time and coming up here to see us. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Really appreciate it. Okay, so to kick us off, what was that epiphany moment that you decided to start your own business in the carpentry world? Because I know you've got a really cool story.
Yeah, it was really my passion. As an apprentice, I had done a little bit of everything over the course of my training and schooling, and the finished carpentry was what I loved to do. And I said, well, the best way to get to do what I love is to start a business where we only do that. So that was my incentive to start the company.
So at the end of the day, what made you decide, because I know you've got an interesting backstory, can you give us a little bit about your backstory and how you ever ended up as a finished carpenter? Because that's not something most kids wake up and go, you know what? They usually wake up and say, I want to be a fireman.
Yeah, exactly. I did always want to be a fireman, and I ended up as that. So I was a forest firefighter, I was a volunteer firefighter, and then full-time on the city department. And at the same time, because firefighters have a lot of time off, I was running my business on the side, so a little side project. And I loved that, and that drew me into it to the point where I was spending more time on my side business than I was at the fire hall doing my work. And so eventually I got to transition to full-time running the company doing carpentry, which is really, I love both jobs, but really the passion was carpentry, so I went that direction.
And you've also brought that from a different province. You didn't originally start here, neither did Victoria and I, so can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I was based in Guelph, Ontario, and that's where I was running Nick's Carpentry, and then I moved to Calgary in 2023 with my wife, who's a surgical resident, for her job. And I said, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to take my business full-time, rebrand it into Calgary Custom Concepts, picked up all the machinery and equipment, brought it here, and basically started a new company in Calgary.
I could only imagine what moving all that equipment would be like.
I had a lot of firefighters come help load it onto the trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many trucks did you take?
One truck. Yeah,
one
moving truck.
Big truck.
And we were on short notice, so we couldn't get anyone to move, so we drove it ourselves. We loaded up and drove ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like rented a U-Haul and just loaded her up and off you went. Okay. Well, that's really inspiring to say the least. You know, you can change your whole life, your career, and your province in one go if you feel like it. And how are you feeling looking back now? Is it a good decision?
Absolutely. Yeah, we love being in Calgary, and it's a great place to be for carpentry, for our specific line of work. There's a ton of construction. There's a lot of demand for what we do now. So the team's been growing already in the time we've been here. And yeah, so it was a great decision.
I think it's really cool too, I don't think I've had this epiphany with you before, but I mean, in both jobs, you're working on preserving the environment and helping other wood and trees in the area. So I mean, you just reverted from a fire element to more of an earth and taking care of that. So that's fun. That's neat. So
okay,
thank you for that.
You're a finished carpenter. What does that mean? If I was looking for somebody to do finished carpentry, where do you step into the process? Do you start at the very beginning with the renovation side, or are you the guy that I want to call when I'm putting baseboards back on? When would I want to reach out to you?
That's a good question. So if you walk into someone's house and you look around and you say, oh, that's nice, that's really nice, I like how you did this over here, that was probably done by a finished carpenter if it's done in wood, because we come in at the end. So finished carpentry comes at the end of the project. All the details that you see that's applied onto the walls, that's in front of the structural elements, that's all finished carpentry. So we'll cover everything from, baseboards, accent walls, wainscoting, your ceilings, if you want to do ceiling treatments, wall treatments, stairs. That's all under the envelope of finished carpentry.
Now I also know, because I've asked for you to do it myself, that you build beautiful cabinetry. Can you talk to that? Like, that might not be something I would think of, oh geez, maybe I should be phoning a handyman first. Should I be phoning you for a project like that right from the very beginning?
Definitely. So built-in cabinetry is another specialty, and a lot of people don't realize that they can put cabinetry in places other than their kitchen or bathroom. So if you want to you have extra space in a hallway, or you have space, in your kitchen, like in your case, and you want to make that space useful, you want to make it beautiful, we can do that. So we'll custom design and build cabinetry to utilize your space more fully.
So if I phoned you up one day and said, listen, I've got this wall. I don't know what to do with it, but I don't like it. I don't know what I don't know. Can you help by coming in and kind of giving me a couple of ideas from a hey, you know what, if we did this and this, or we can make it more functional? Is that the type of call I should be making?
Absolutely, yeah. And we get a lot of those calls where people say, oh, I want to do something with this space. I don't know what, but I want it to be different. So then we sit down, have that conversation, find out sort of what type of environment they want to create, and we can provide them the ideas and the designs. We have our whole portfolio of work we've done. I don't know if normal people do this, but I love reading historical molding printouts of molding profiles and different things that you can use, elements that you can incorporate into those walls. So I'm full of ideas when it comes to that.
Yeah, I love that he made a social media video the other day about how it was like 300 years old, and how it encapsulated the beauty in the crowning, and the decoration was based off the aesthetic from Da Vinci and Da Vinci's numerology with using the human body. So that's why we find it so appealing when we look at it. And I was like, that's fascinating. He's always creating some really cool content to just educate us about these industries and these trades, because it's not something that a lot of us know anymore. We're all moving to the tech and things like that. So it's really cool to still get grounded in the woodwork and things like that. So in terms of when a customer comes to you, like what sort of a hell are they going through, and what kind of a heaven can you deliver for them?
Yeah, the hell I would describe they're in is that they're not happy with their space. So they come home at the end of a long day of work and they're frustrated. Maybe their space is inefficient, or they're just tired of looking at the same thing over and over, that it hasn't changed, and they're struggling to come up with the ideas of how they might want to make it look. So that's the point when they call us. And then when our goal is that when we leave, their house is a heaven. So they love coming home, they love waking up in the morning and saying, oh wow, I get to live here, this is amazing. So I really love that we can cover all aspects of the house. So there's kitchen companies that'll do your kitchen, there's bathroom companies, but who does your bedroom, who does your living room, who does all those other spaces that are just as important that you inhabit every day. So we get to come in and elevate those spaces and make them feel like they're home and a representation of our customers.
So, sounds like it's a good vibe. And I know there's a secondary thing that you do with your life, and one of the things that you've really focused on, and you certainly live it. For those people who don't know, can you talk a little bit about the book you wrote?
Sure, yeah, the book is Optimism 2033, and the idea behind it is, in the next 10 years, we can create the future that we want to based on our attitudes. And so if you take an optimistic attitude about everything you do and about life, then that's going to be reflected in the future that you have for yourself. So I was writing about that. Yeah, I asked my wife, what should I write my book about? And she said, well, optimism, because you're so optimistic. Oh, that's a great idea. So that's how the book was born.
Well, and you certainly bring that to your work. I mean, I just heard you say, hey, listen, if you're unhappy with where you are, there is a way, just doing some work with you, that you can come to love your space. And I think you bring that and you embody that in everything you do. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have the book. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm happy you signed it for me. So thank you. It's very bite-sized chunks when you're just getting it all together throughout the day. It's I read it in the morning. It takes 5 minutes to do a chapter for me, and I'm off my day, and my morning has started optimistically. So, and if you're into the brainwaves and stuff like that, that's when you want to program your brain to kick your day off. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for that. And so maybe on the optimism side, on the carpentry side too, what's one thing that the audience member can maybe take from what we're talking about to implement these sorts of things into their lives to kind of get them feeling a little bit better, even if they know that they need your help?
Yeah. One thing I recommend is to think creatively about what you want to do. So some people think, well, I've only seen these types of finishes in a house, so I'm limited to these options. like think outside the box of your own experience and say, I'm going to go out and find other sources of inspiration and what really inspires me. Okay, I love being out in nature in the mountains. Okay, then do a mountain-inspired accent wall. Like there's so many creative options people can do with their homes, and I see that people live, in a plain Jane builder basic house that they haven't changed since they moved in. There's so much you can do. So just start the wheels of creativity spinning and imagination, and then there's lots of options. There's lots of things people can do to elevate their own space that they inhabit every day.
It's cool. Maybe making like a little vision board or like a little brainstorming piece of paper where they got that sort of mind mapping thing going on, and you just bouncing ideas off of you that they can bring to the table. So that's cool, and bringing that to life. So what other communities do you serve, and what are some other businesses that you really love to work with?
Yeah, other businesses I love to work with are interior designers. We get along great because that's their specialty is making spaces that will be a reflection of their customers. So I love to work together with them on designs and the options and the creative side. So other communities, it's still related to carpentry. I volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. So don't tell my customers this, but I will do trim work for free. So I go there and I get to do what I love, and I really love their model because they're building houses that otherwise would be unattainable for people in the community and helping them attain that dream of home ownership. So that's really nice to see that, a bunch of people coming together to help put these houses together, and then these families, most of them have young children, they get to become homeowners at the end of that process. That's
amazing and so rewarding for the community. Thank you, because those sorts of developments, they're not always the nicest places to be in, which automatically that's that negative mindset, that's that, feeling like you're stuck and you can't get out. So coming in and offering that service is huge, not only for their space, but for their mental health too. So thank you for that. And this is a bit of a side question, but I was chatting with someone the other day about you and what you offer, and he was like, mind mapping and stuff, and he's like, I would love a secret door. Like, I'd love that classic, pull the thing, the whole thing rotates. Have you ever done something like that?
Oh yeah. I've worked on, absolutely. We're doing some hidden doors next week. I've also done an escape room where you push on the wall and the entire wall shifts out of the way. What? And that was the secret to the escape room. So definitely cool. That's the kind of stuff I like to do as well for customers, because it's creative, it's one-off and unique. It's not just a standard, okay, finish my walls. That's the kind of stuff I like to do.
I can see my whole closet like that. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Okay, now I'm super excited. Yeah. Your poor father is going to be going, oh no, now she's got way too many projects. And Nick's gonna be the new Murphy Brown painter. Mm-hmm. If you remember Murphy Brown's painter lived in Murphy Brown's house for a lot of years with all the projects she had on the go. I don't think he ever moved out. But look out.
I have had customers call me Murphy Brown.
Okay, yeah. I get it completely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. We really appreciate it, and it was so insightful. And we got to see a little bit more about you, the fireman turned carpenter turned optimist or perpetual optimist, and that is just absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and where can our audience find you?
So you can find us at calcustom.ca. You can Google Calgary Custom Concepts, or you can email admin@calcustom.ca. Amazing. And thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure to come on and to get to share with you guys.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Here's to an optimistic 2024.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of The Local Connection, reminding you that success is just a strategy away. Stay tuned for more actionable insights on The Local Connection. Until next time, thrive in your marketing endeavors.